Welcome to All Things Mental,
a podcast that honors the messy, beautiful, nonlinear journey of healing. Because healing isn't about fixing what's broken.
It's about discovering what you need in this moment and learning to trust yourself along the way.
Here, we share stories, resources, and reminders that you're never alone on your path.
So take a breath, lean in, and remember,
you are not broken.
You're just becoming a more beautiful version of your higher self. We're your co-hosts, Michelle
and Leanna,
here to remind you that
you're never alone
on your healing journey. A quick disclaimer before we begin this episode. We want to say Michelle
and Leanna
are not licensed professionals, but we shared our lived experience in dealing with depression during this conversation.
The clinical definition of depression is, as defined by the Mayo Clinic, a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. We do not directly define depression in this episode, but we do talk about what it has been like for us in our lives.
If you or someone you know is experiencing these symptoms, please do not hesitate to reach out to a medical provider who can provide better assistance. Depression is a very serious condition that requires the utmost care and attention.
Thank you and enjoy this episode. Welcome back to All Things Mental. This episode is all things depression and how we cope. We have been feeling a little bit heavy lately, and it just felt right to talk about it openly on our platform that we've curated thus far, and this many episodes in already and more to come. And it's a topic that can be kind of heavy. So if you're not in a place to listen to this, it's okay. We understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well said. We originally had another topic planned for today's episode. And it was inspired by me messaging Leanna and being like, hey, just so you know, I'm feeling depressed right now. And if we want, we could do an episode about it because we're all about transparency here at All Things Mental. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. So here we are.
Yes, absolutely. It's important that we talk about this because as many of you may know from my own journey through suicidal thoughts and how I've overcome them, but also have had them come back many times, and how I continue to just ride the wave of life and change through time. It's only when we talk about it and bring light to it that we actually can heal. When we hold things inside and when we feel that darkness, it doesn't go away on its own. So we need to talk about it. We need to reach out, and there are resources available, like what we can put in our show notes. But one thing's for certain, in the US, we have the 988 number. That's a big support line that I know I've reached out to before it was even 988. I reached out to like the suicide prevention line to text it, and I've called one time just to speak with somebody, and like those people on those lines are such angels. And I remember, I think the one, what's her name? Oh, her name was Ellen, who I spoke to. And, you know, they make sure like, hey, are you like safe? And, you know, I don't need to send an ambulance to you and like whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I just need to like talk to someone. And like, she was extremely helpful. And that was something I'll never forget. And, you know, to anyone out there who has suffered and has gone through it, you know, but also even if you haven't, I hope this episode resonates with you in some capacity. Or send it
to someone who it might resonate with.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Like, because for me, I've always been, not always been depressed, but like I've always could tell when I was depressed versus when I was just sad. Like there's like a fine line, and I can tell through like the years of like, you know, being alive. But like for me this time around, I have like this past Sunday was a daylight savings, so we like, you know, we gained an hour of sleep, and I still think it's so silly. We shouldn't be doing it anymore, but that's not what we're talking about today. But like for me, I'm trying to like not start laughing because, full transparency, my cat is underneath my desk right now messing with the bag that's underneath there, and she brings me joy, so I'm not going to stop her from doing that. But that's what happened for me. Like daylight savings happened, and then I just started getting all sad, and like I was like, this is not sad. This is depression. Like I can like tell like my mood was down. Like it's amazing. Like when we go fall back and then it feels like the sun goes down at like 5 o'clock when before it was going down at like 7 or 8. I don't know. But that's what it was for me. But like over the years, I am empath. I am an empath. I've mentioned that before. And I tend to get sad around the holidays. I think that's something that everybody experiences. But like for me, this past year in March, so March of 2025, I could just tell something was different. I think it was like the month of my birthday, and my birthday's in February, where I was like, I'm depressed. And I tend to get depressed around my birthday. And I think it's because, and I mentioned this in a previous episode, where I felt like I wasn't going to live past 30.
Mhm.
And then I did, and my brain could not fathom it. So I had to take a mental health day on my 31 in a day. So February 25th. And like for me, I've always been depressed around my birthday. And then sometimes it lasts as far as to like around when my grandpa passed away. And my husband always hated that because when we first got together, like we got together in May. Like our anniversary is May 4th because he's a Star Wars nerd. Like no joke.
Aw, I love that.
Yeah. And so, and his birthday is later on in the month. Like his birthday's May 15th. And so for him, he always like hated that like I was depressed around his birthday and then like our anniversary. And like he accepts me for it. He's there for me. He'll listen. But this past March, I was like, I want to get a depression journal, which sounds super depressing, but like I wanted to start making notes of like, okay, March 15th or whatever it was, felt depressed, and just make notes of it. That way, over the years, I can look back and be like, okay, am I always depressed in November around this time of year? Because you had mentioned to me in your voice note that you sent
Mhm.
me that you always seem to get depressed around this time of year.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that. Like it was like 2 or 3 years in a row that like around November 3rd or so, it's like I feel the dark cloud over my emotions and over myself, and I'm like, interesting. And this year for me, like I have my aura ring, which I don't think I've ever talked about on the podcast yet. More it'll be something I talk about a lot because it's like part of my life and my personality and
Did
like
you just get it?
my aura ring.
Yeah.
No, I've had this since 2020.
Oh, okay.
So it's literally been years. I've upgraded once. I upgraded in 2021 when they did like they grandfathered into like the lifetime subscription, and that was like so worth it to me because I was like, oh my God, I love all this data. It's so incredible. Like I literally this morning did a blood test for a blood panel for all things health related and stuff, and that's going to be my Aura Ring data, which I get soon. So yeah, I've done a study with them for COVID. Like it was just really interesting. But anyway,
that's cool.
That's all a side note.
The ADHD is showing.
But anyway, it's yeah, the Aura Ring to me like told me this week, like literally the day after daylight savings, that like something is minorly straining my body, like the symptom radar. Which if anyone has the Aura Ring, you know that that's like the symptom radar tracking that like you might be getting sick or might be doing something in your body, like something might not be right. And I was like, wow, like I have felt a little off this week. And I think it's related to daylight savings because I've been so regimented over the years and months of this year, especially like having a really good schedule of nighttime routine, wake up routine. Like I really try to follow the guidelines of the Aura Ring very closely to myself. And that's why I love it so much because it's really changed my life. I sleep great. I have good energy through the day. Like I'm happy most of the time. And then to find like that something is bothering me, it's like, what is it, and they're like, oh no,
and then you fixate on it. Yeah, because like we were talking about this before we like hit record, like at the point that I was like, Leanna, we should probably like start recording. It was really funny. But like for me, when I first got depressed with my husband, like not depressed because of him, but like he was in my life. I think it was right when we moved in together when the pandemic hit.
Wow.
And for me, I was like, I don't know why I'm depressed. And I'm like trying to figure it out. And he's like a problem solver. Like that's just like his personality. He sees a problem, he wants to solve it. And he was like, well, like you're not moving around a whole lot now. I'm like, what does that have to do with it? He goes, your energy, like it's bubbled up inside of you. You need to find a way to like release it. And that's how I discovered working out. Like I work out for my mental health. And the
Mm.
last couple of weeks, I haven't really been working out because I've just been so stressed at work and so mentally drained because I'm a teacher that when I get home, like I don't wanna. But this week I was like, I'm making myself work out because I know that the chemicals in my brain will get refueled or whatever through working out. And I remember talking to my best friend because I told her about, hey, I'm not feeling well and hubby's going through something right now too. So he knows, but I don't want to have to vent to him. And she's like, you can vent to me. It's fine. So I was telling her, and I was like, yeah, my biggest concern for this depression is that I'm going to have I'm going to be mentally drained when I wake up because that's what depression can do to you. And then I'm going to be mentally drained by the end of the day. That when I get home, I'm not going to want to work out. To which he said, Michelle, then don't work out. It's
Mm.
okay. One day isn't going to kill you, which is true because I've been going like a couple weeks now without working out. So I'm finally getting back into it. So my depression has been my motivation to do all these things, like do the joy, do the gratitude, do the movement, because that was my goal this year: joy, gratitude, and movement. And something that I worked on with my hypnotherapist, my last session with her, she was like, what do you want to work on? I'm like, I don't really know because I'm in such a good place. And then she says to me, Michelle, you don't have to always work on something to improve. Like you're in a good place. Cool. What do you want to focus on? I'm like, I mean, I guess I really haven't really been focusing on my joy. I've been kind of trying to find it versus like experiencing it. She goes, perfect. We're going to work on that. And I joke with her that she's like the Taylor Swift of writing hypnosis, like scripts. And I told her this and she thought it was absolutely hysterical. And we had a call the other day, this past weekend, because she has this program and she did like a welcome call to it. And she mentioned it. And I was like, I was wondering when you were going to mention that I think you're the Taylor Swift of like hypnosis recordings or hypnosis audios or, scripts. To which the other two girls were like, yeah, I agree. So like,
Oh,
it's absolutely like amazing. And we just worked on that and it was really, really nice. And now I'm focusing more on the joy. And between doing the joy and doing my gratitude in the morning, and I do my gratitude now basically twice, but one of them is just for this month. I'm in a group chat for a workout program that I'm in with a whole bunch of girls that are also in the workout program. And I inspired a couple of them by like sharing like my morning routine because they were like, I don't know how to like, I want to change my mindset so I can start doing the workouts. So to me, you have to remember what he says. He says it's all up here. If you get your mind in line, everything else will align. So I kind of like share with them what I do in my morning routine, what I do in my evening routine. And you had mentioned that like your routine, you thrive on that. We
yep.
as human beings thrive on that. Like that's a fact. And for me personally, I do my gratitude in the morning, but one of them was like, what if we did a bite of gratitude every day? So we've been sending in the group chat like our bite of gratitude, like what is your bite of gratitude from the previous day? And something that I'm going to suggest for the month of December is what if we all share like a glimmer this month for what is your glimmer? Like what is something that felt magical to you today?
I love that. That's so special. I mean, there's such amazing energy when we're all together in like a group setting or like doing a program or something. Like, I miss that. I haven't done like a group program since 2022.
Mm,
So it's been a couple years. I had, a more intense job in like 2023 and like I did my own retreat then as well. I was preparing for that. Like I tried to cultivate some community there, but I ultimately didn't get the amount of reach that I was hoping for.
yeah.
So like it was a small group and that was fine. But ultimately, I hope that in the future I can rejoin like some sort of group, because that's a huge way like out of depression, is like to find. Oh, Mary says this all the time. We talk about Mary a lot. Mary's Cup of Tea on Instagram
I
and
love her so
TikTok and her podcast. Yeah. She says, when in doubt, focus out.
Oh yeah, she does say that a lot. When in
It just
doubt,
came back to
focus
me.
out. She
Yep.
posted a video recently about how, like, if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't just call your best friend. Try this first. I
Yes.
don't remember what specifically she said, but I was like, yeah, that's really helpful.
Yeah, because it's great to shine a light on yourself first and see what you really want. Like that's a huge act of self-worth. We talked about that on our self-worth podcast episode. And I really live by that, because like when you listen to your own inner guidance and your own intuition and you listen to your body, like I was literally talking to my brother on the way home from work today, and I was just like telling him how I've been so in tune with my body and I'm so aware, like I barely get nauseous anymore. I'm like yes, I barely get like tired. Well, I get tired when I'm exhausted, but like I'm not like so drained,
Yeah.
like I'm not like running on empty all the time. Like I actively rest before I hit that exhaustion point. I
Yeah.
listen to my body. I know that I can take my medicine to help me with my mental health. I know like I can, if I'm going on a boat or doing something with motion or something, like I'm going to take a motion sickness Dramamine. Like I know there's ways to help, and I don't feel like I used to be nauseous a lot, and I think that was related to my anxiety. And lately, I haven't been feeling that way in my life in recent years, and it's been amazing. And I'm very
That's
grateful.
amazing. I love that so much. The teacher in me wants to do a celebration. So we have these things in my classroom, and I'm going to do it. What a good job. 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 I teach third grade. Okay. I have to find ways to entertain
Oh,
them.
that's so cute.
And they're always like, Miss, that's like from the show Wednesday. And I'm like, yes, the Addams Family.
Aw.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love that so much.
Thank you.
I love that so much. I had a thought, but like I lost my train of thought when my teacher brain took over.
It's okay.
But like, yeah, I mean, you have to do what works for you. We said this before. Everybody's healing journey is different. And this past March, when I mentioned I had gotten the depression journal, I also reached out to I said to my husband, I'm like, I'm gonna see someone that can diagnose me with depression and with possibly ADHD. And so I met with this psychiatrist and we had a conversation. And he goes, I can diagnose you right now, not with what I thought. He wanted to diagnose me with something else. And I was like, no, thank you. Can I do the test? Like, I'd rather do the test. I don't want to just take your word for it so you can give me medicine, because I'm like my grandmother in that sense, that like my grandma didn't trust doctors. I trust doctors, but like I need to build a foundation, build a relationship with them. And so I did the tests and all of that, and I got the results. And basically everything was saying was, well, you have it, but like not enough for medicine. Like for me, like I know I have ADHD, but according to that test, I only have the H. And my husband makes fun of me all the time. He goes, yeah, you just have the H. You're just hyper. I'm like, he's like, that checks out. And I was like, no, I have ADHD. I do. I know that I have it. So like I was talking to two of my friends who work with kids who have ADHD, and they were like, no, Michelle, you have it. You just don't have it enough for medicine. And that's annoying because like you're probably like right on like the crest, the line, whatever you want to call it. I remember talking to my friend that lives in England that I do my grateful list with. She was like, if you were tested over here, you would have been diagnosed. Like you just have the H, like that's ridiculous. And I was like, oh, America.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the healthcare here is not as good as other countries, and it just sucks that we like always are taught that like, oh, America has the best healthcare, has the best everything, best doctor.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
No,
it's not true.
we don't. Like we were talking about something along these lines at work today about how like America isn't really as free as like,
No. No.
And I think that's honestly probably why so many Americans are depressed.
Right. Right. It's amazing because like I I find that when I travel to other places, like I've like when I went to Bali for my retreat, like I just felt so connected and so at peace and like again, like listening to my body and just like so in tune and moving and doing amazing yoga practices and like
Yeah.
the massages and stuff. Like it's just the culture was just so different. The food, like I remember when I came
I can
back to work,
imagine.
yeah, when I came back to work, my one of my coworkers then at the time was like, "Oh, did you like lose weight?" And I was like, "I don't think so." Like I don't at that point in my life, I and even still, like I don't track my weight, but like to have that be something that could have maybe happened, like
Yeah.
from the 2 week trip to the other side of the world, and I still eat like much cleaner food, and
Oh
who
yeah,
knows?
absolutely. It's amazing. If you compare like the like for instance, Captain Crunch, if you compare what is in American ingredients versus what is in like England, Europe, whatever, there's so much stuff added to ours. It's insane. But you had mentioned something that reminded me of what I wanted to say earlier. But you had mentioned how you thrive on routine
Yes.
and you like follow it for, certain purposes and
Hmm.
whatnot.
Hmm.
And honestly, if you ever feel like you are getting depressed, my advice to you would be to stick to your routine, do as much of it as you can. Like I sent a voice note to my friend that I do my grateful list this morning, and I was like, tell me you're depressed without telling me you're depressed. I got excited over the fact that I actually brushed my teeth and washed my face this morning because that's like one of my non-negotiables. Like that's
Yeah.
taking care of myself. And I when I was depressed back in like February or March of this year, I went days without brushing my teeth, like to the point that I was like, I should probably do brush my teeth because like I don't want to have teeth problems like down the line.
Yeah. And that's totally normal. Like a lot of people, their personal hygiene routines like kind of go to the wayside when they're depressed or like not feeling like themselves or like they have that dark cloud. I know what you mean though by like a non-negotiable. Like
Yeah.
for me, a non-negotiable is brushing my teeth and there's a couple nights where I'm like, I don't think I need to take a shower. Like if I didn't leave the house that day, I'm like, do I really need to shower? Like, did I
Yeah,
go
like for
anywhere?
me, if I get really sweaty after a workout, I'll just hop in the shower. But just to like wet the sweat off, for me personally, I don't wash my hair like every night. Like I wash it like every 3 or 4 days. And the other day it came up and I was like, it doesn't feel like it needs it. So I just decided I'm gonna wait and I still haven't washed it. So I think it's probably because it's actually like cooler in Florida right now. Like we're like getting like our high is like in the 80s, which is really nice. And our low is like sometimes in the 50s, sometimes in the 60s. And it's so nice. And there's a difference between 50 degrees down here and 50 degrees up north. Like I
Yeah.
remember a couple of years ago, I visited my parents they have a cabin up in Maine. And I went to go surprise them as like the peak of fall. Like I'm talking like all the bright colors. And fall is like my favorite time of the year. Like it's one of the things and one of the reasons why me and my husband want to move out of Florida. And I went up to the visit my parents and we went to this fort and it was obviously outside. And I was not putting on a sweatshirt. I was wearing jeans and a t-shirt. And my mom's arguing with me. And I finally like put on the sweatshirt so she'd leave me alone. And we're out at the place and I take the sweatshirt off. My mom goes to say something and my dad's like, no, leave her alone. She's clearly hot. Let her take the sweatshirt off. I was like, thank you. Like
Mhm.
you try to, I don't know if this happens to you, but when I'm around my parents, I sometimes feel like I turn back into a 16-year-old. And
Mm,
it's so annoying. Like my inner teenager comes out and just wants to argue with
yeah.
me. I've gotten, excuse me, much better at that.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I think now like that I've turned 30 and like I've I always said, like, when I was 21, I was like, oh, when I turn 30, I'll finally be treated as an adult. And like, yes and no. Like, some people still think, like, even one of my coworkers yesterday was like, oh my God, you're married? Like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 30. And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know. I'm just a person. Like, I'm existing. But in terms of my parents, like, we had a really tough mid 2025, not between me and them necessarily, but like
Mhm.
we had like a family emergency,
Okay.
and that was something we had to deal with. And I think at that point it was like a very real situation where like I was somehow the anchor between my parents and my brother, and like stuff that we were going through as a family unit and everything, and like we had to just kind of be there for one another. And like I think at that point and since then, it's been a different energy, like from them looking at me and being like, I'm not like their little girl anymore. Like, I'll always be their little girl. My mom will
Yeah.
still always send me old pictures of like myself and her, or me and my brother, or like, whatever. And like, it's sweet and all, but then I look back and I'm like, I'm just glad that like the past is the past, and I'm a new person now, and I'm like happy to be myself, and like I love who I am, and I have self-worth, and like all these amazing things. And it's good because yeah, there were times in my life that I didn't feel good
Oh
about
yeah,
myself.
absolutely.
And I'm just so grateful that like, anxiety, depression like no longer runs my life, but like I'm
Mhm.
still aware that I do deal with it. I just have medication and ways to manage it, and it's
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, absolutely. Like you mentioned a couple of things, and one of the things I relate to that, what you mentioned about your parents,
Hmm.
because the other day I was driving to my aunt's house on Halloween, and I called my mom because she had called me. She called me like around 3:30, and I was just like, "Oh my God, is my dad okay?" Because my dad is going through some stuff. So I called her. She picked up the phone. Hi, how are you? And I'm like, Mom, it's 3:30. I'm at work. Oh, like, is dad okay? Yeah. I'm like, okay, can I call you later? Yeah, sure. And we hung up.
Oh gosh.
And I was just so relieved because, like, a couple of years ago, my best friend's mom was not okay on Halloween. And then I got the call on November 1st. Like, she was calling me. She had been texting me, and then she called me. And I play it on my phone, and I have tears in my eyes. And I say to my husband, I don't want to pick up because I already know what she's going to say. Like,
Mm.
it was not great because I was very close to my best friend's mom. I'm also very close to another best friend's mom and my own mom. So, and I'm closer to my mom and my best friend's mom that is still alive. So I was like, if I'm like this now, I don't even want to know what I'm going to be like when my own mother goes.
Alright.
That's just super, super scary to me. But like she had called me and we were talking. She mentioned my brother's name a couple times. So I felt okay to bring it up. I was like, I have a question. Are you guys still talking to him? And she goes, well, he's calling your dad, but other than that, no, not really. So I was like, oh, okay, so he's not going to be at Thanksgiving because I wanted to see if I could go to Thanksgiving because we're recording this November 5th of 2025. So she's like, yeah, no, you can totally come for Thanksgiving. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I didn't she was like, I just didn't know if you wanted to come because I know that like usually you do something with like other people, but like which is true, but like I'm at a point now with my parents where I do want to spend the holidays with them. My only boundary is I will not go if my brother is there. I won't. And I think they know that. And according to my mom, my dad was like, yeah, well, he's going to apparently stop talking to him after a certain date because
Mhm.
that will be a year since the altercation occurred that made my parents stop talking to him to begin with. So, yeah, I relate to that because like I felt like an adult in that conversation with my mom and it was really nice. And I've been feeling that way also like with my dad. Like I like said to them, could we possibly do it on Black Friday because he has work, he'll be off Friday and Saturday. Could we possibly do Thanksgiving on Black Friday that way he can be there? And they were like, yeah, I don't see a problem with that. But they're being much more understanding of my relationship now with my husband. So
That's good.
yeah.
That's really important.
It's super important, and I never thought I'd get here with them.
Literally. I know
I'd
what you mean.
get here. I never thought, like, when I, like, because I had for years, my best friend and my aunt would both be like, Michelle, you need to accept that your parents are never going to change. I'm like, okay, but they need to accept that I have. And they were both like, if you start accepting that they are never going to change, maybe, just maybe, they will accept that you have.
Yes.
And I was like, no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to work. And now, for the most part, like, I still feel like a teenager when I'm with them. Still do. But overall, there's no issues.
That's amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Knock on wood.
Like, no, I know.
I don't know. Like, talk to me after Thanksgiving.
Aw, I know.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you because like that's really awesome because I relate to that so much just in the fact that like I've had to accept that my parents show up the way that they do and that certain members of, whatever. I mean my family's fine, but like my grandma, like I get worried about her sometimes because like she was really negative to me like during my engagement and stuff with my husband and like it was just not a good time and I to this day like I don't really feel as comfortable with her as I wish I did. I mean she has love in her heart for me and there's no issues but like that time it was just like a little bit too sensitive for me so I was like okay I'm gonna keep my distance but like overall like I'm fine with her and like it's all good. We're celebrating her birthday after Thanksgiving and like it works out that like my parents are coming into town only just for that weekend and I'll be able to hopefully split the time with my in-laws and make my way around just for those couple days. I probably have to work that Friday. We will see. But all in all, it's good because I know that like my parents, like I've accepted that they show up in a certain way, just like you were saying. And then that has changed me as a person because I now know that like if they get reactive to something or whatever, like that there's less like abrasiveness on my side. Like I don't tense up. Like it's like there's this calmness of like, oh, okay, this is expected.
Like I have a boundary with my dad. I will only like really text him if I have to get on the phone with him. I'm on the phone with my mom and I ask, hey, can I talk to dad really quick? Like that's it for me because that's just like how it has to be for me, which stinks because like my inner child, like I was a daddy's girl growing up. Like my parents literally have a video of me saying, "Daddy, do." Like I'm crying because my mom is doing my hair. And I don't blame my inner child or my child crying because my mom would comb my hair so hard. I was like, it got to the point where I was like, how do I do it? And I learned how to do it myself. So that way I would comb more gently. But like, there's literally a video of me crying because like I wanted my dad to help me with my Halloween costume. I was Ariel that year. And I not really remember, like this is from the video, but my dad being like, mommy's got to help you. Daddy's taking pictures of you. And I'm like wailing. I'm like, daddy to do it. But like, I've grown since then. Like they say you become your parents or you become the opposite of your parents. Like my friends meet my parents. Like I have a really good friend who's also a teacher. I met her through my husband. They used to work together. And she met my parents, I think at my like 30th birthday party. And she said to me in the car ride from where the party was to where we were going to drink, how did you come from that? Like, I don't know. She's like, you are like the complete opposite of your parents. I'm like, I know, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, thank you so much. That's so true.
I know. It's kind of amazing because I definitely feel like I've been the black sheep of the family.
Oh, yeah.
And like,
I married the black sheep of his family, like my husband's the black sheep of his, and I'm the black sheep of mine, or at least that's how like I feel. Like I feel like at least in like my immediate family, like between like my brother and my mom and my dad. But at this point, honestly, I feel like we're all black sheep, and we're just coming together and making a black sheep family. Yeah, minus my brother, because like I said, my parents don't even really want to talk to him, which is just such a shame because we got along growing up, and then like things, you know, happen, and there's only so much you should take.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, I have an amazing brother-in-law. I have amazing guy friends that are super, super protective of me. I remember when me and my husband first got together, we would go drinking in Orlando, me, him, and his best friend, and I would always be in the middle. And I used to do this thing where I would like run, and they'd like run after me and be like, Michelle, don't do that. So, like a little kid was hanging out with like her, like, you know, boyfriend and her big brother, because that's literally how my relationship with his best friend was at the beginning.
Wow. That's so nice.
Yeah. It's really, really nice to just feel protected no matter what. And I feel that in my friends groups. Like you're still gonna have your moments with your friends, but like, I mean, there's certain things you just can't talk to certain friends about. Like I can't tell certain friends that I'm depressed because they're like, well, why? Have, have
Mm,
have have a scoop of peanut butter. No, that doesn't help. No.
yeah.
I need to do my glimmers in the evening, which is harder now that I'm depressed. But I'm still
Mm,
doing them. And like it's a process.
yeah. No, I get it. That brings up a good point of like the depression journey is like finding your people where you can feel like you're seen, heard, validated, understood,
Love,
not trying to
unconditionally.
yes, and not
Yeah.
trying to be fixed because the depression isn't a problem. I mean, there's nothing wrong with
Yeah, yeah,
you.
yeah. I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah. It's just there's something that's happening chemically in your brain or, with your emotions or like just
And
like
I'm at the point
a
where I think it
cloud.
might be a chemical imbalance in my brain, which is why like I want to get a diagnosis, but I have to wait like a year before I can like go again and get like a second opinion.
Yeah,
And then I get a second opinion from another place because like I was like, I don't think you guys like and next time I do it, I want to go in. They did it all virtually. I'm like, I feel like they might be able to get more if I'm physically there.
good.
We'll see. But you had mentioned something earlier that I wanted to ask you a question. Do you ever feel like depression makes you question your self-worth? Or is your self-worth kind of like alter based off your depression?
Ooh, that's a good question. I I think for me, I now, well, first of all, there it has been like at least from where I sit right now and it being November 2025, the last time I felt suicidal was like January 2025.
Okay.
So like
Like serious
yeah,
considering? Okay.
yeah, like I was having a tough time at my then job and like it was just not really feeling aligned and I was just having these wicked intrusive thoughts and like I still get intrusive thoughts about like random things, but like I
Yeah.
think that could be related to like some OCD or something. Like I'm learning more about what that
Just
could
because
be like in my life.
there's so many things it could be.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so many things that it could be.
And
But this is also proof that I have depression because like there's so many things that I want to say and I'm forgetting them because of the brain fog.
oh, interesting.
Like for me, the last time I seriously considered suicide,
Mhm.
um, I don't honestly even know. Like I think it was in 2012. I think that was the last time I seriously considered it, but I've had like thoughts. Like I had the thought this past Sunday. And I was like, oh, I'm depressed because that thought just popped into my head. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. But when I
Right.
first got into like my healing journey, and like I used to hide my depression from people. Now I don't hide it. I tell people. And I remember getting like the anxious thoughts at first of like, no, don't tell him. He's not gonna care. Just
Oh my
go.
gosh.
Just go do this or go do that. I remember when I used to like drive and to be like, you should hit a tree. Like
Oh.
that's like just hit a tree, end it. Like no one wants you here. Like those sorts of thoughts have like popped in my head. And it stinks, but like it's the truth. But like you have to like I saw this like it might have been a TikTok or a reel where they were talking about like talk to your anxiety as if it's a 5-year-old toddler that's not getting its way. That's basically what it is. No, you're not getting that. Stop. And
Oh.
that really like honestly kind of helped me.
Yeah. No, I totally know what you mean. Because like now when I get intrusive thoughts, like it's about something really ridiculous. Like
Really, really
it'll
silly. And most of the time I'll then share it with my husband and he'll be like, well, that's not true.
right. I have to actively tell myself like I am okay in this moment. I am safe. I am not going to say something extremely erroneous out loud. Like that's just in my brain right
Yeah.
now. Like I'm not going to say that and be inappropriate or something. Like I'm not, that's not who I am. Like I just have this voice and it just is what it is. It mocks me sometimes and it, but to really think deeply about your original question of like the self-worth issue, like it's I think now when I know that those thoughts come up and that, it's the thought of like, yeah, I'm driving and I should just try to crash the car. Like I've had that thought too. And I think for me, it's like I can now see, like, it's like I have, because I still am taking medicine. This was when I did my last medicine adjustment this past January, or, it'll be a year once the podcast airs. Yay.
Yeah, I'm so
Um, so it'll be a year, and that at that point, I'll reflect on just the journey of like adjusting medication and knowing when I've needed to adjust and change the dosage and things like that, and how much that's changed me as a person because I can now like witness my thoughts and like watch them go by and not like have this like attachment, like, oh, this is me. It's like I can acknowledge, like, oh, this is just a thought coming up. This is not who I am. And
yeah.
that's the difference between like depression now in my life versus like 5, 6+ years ago.
Yeah. I remember when the last time I was seriously considering it, and this is kind of funny because I'm going to talk about this when we eventually do the episode we planned on doing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But someone who literally, no joke, saved my life was Demi Lovato. I remember being such a huge fan of them, and they came out with a song called Skyscraper. And one of the lines in it is go on and try to tear me down. And I remember this came at like, I'm talking like divine timing before I knew divine timing was a thing. And I had a plan. I knew how I was going to do it. Like I had everything like set, but I was like, I want to see Demi Lovato's new Skyscraper video. And this is like back when like it would like, they'd show like little clips on like ET or E News, whatever. And I was like, I'm going to do it after. I want to see this video first. Video came on and I started bawling my eyes about like 10 or 15 seconds like into the song. And Demi saved my life that night. Like I literally was like, okay, I won't do it. And then I went and told my roommate at the time, my only ever guy roommate I ever lived with besides my husband, still talk to this man, like not a lot, but when we do, it's like, old friends that never stop talking to each other. And my husband says when I meet him, I'm gonna shake his hand and tell him thank you. Because like he's the reason why you're still here. And like he didn't even he realizes it because I said to him, I was like, no, you'll remember this. Come on, man. Like you absolutely remember doing this. We had a sleepover out in the living room for like a week and a half until you knew I was okay.
Oh
So
my
we were
God.
just doing that for the sake of doing that. He goes, oh yeah, that's right. She's like, yeah, exactly. So like I had a village before I even knew I had a village.
Wow.
Like I remember when me and this roommate first moved in together, my dad was like, you're living with a guy. I have to meet him. And it's like, mind you, we had already like agreed and I had already moved and he meets him. And I remember saying to my roommate after my dad left, I'm like, well, my dad's not worried. He goes, why does he think I'm gay? I'm like, yeah, he does.
No.
He absolutely is not. Like he's not gay at all. But like we had like a brother sister kind of relationship because like our one roommate would go home on the weekends and he would stay and I would stay. So it would just be the two of us on the weekends. And you get to know each other someone really quickly when you live with them. So yeah, like he's him and Demi Lovato saved my life.
Wow. That like literally like warmed my heart and like made me tear up. Like,
I'm shocked I
whew.
haven't cried yet on this podcast. I've gotten teary-eyed. I haven't like, but
Yeah.
also too, I think that has to do with the fact that I was raised in a household. No, we don't cry. We don't
Oh.
do with the crocodile tears again. Like I got that like a lot to the point that I was like, okay, you're not allowed to.
Dang.
Because I remember the first time I broke down crying in my husband's arms, he said to me, "No, it's okay. You can cry."
Oh my
And
God.
I like looked at him and was like, and I complained to my aunt about you because I've mentioned this before that I used to like say to my aunt, he did this today, and I don't remember what he did. He did this or did that, like did something sweet, and to the point that she was finally like, Michelle, he is treating you like a queen. Shh, enjoy. Like, okay, if you say so, because like I had known nothing but like toxic relationships. Like I say to my husband all the time, if you were, and I don't even actually have this, I don't say this to him all the time. I used to, but I used to say to him, if you were anything like, and he goes, your brother or your father, we wouldn't be together. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
It's that simple.
Like, exactly. Like, it's that simple. Treat me like a human being.
Yeah.
But
Literally.
you had mentioned your grandma. And I love that your grandma's still alive and that you can like enjoy time with her. Like for me, I didn't know my grandma that well. She died when I was 16. And so I decided when she died, I'm going to get to know my grandpa because I don't really know him that well. Like I was sad when my grandma died. I remember my brother yelling at me because I didn't cry when my grandma died. And my aunt like yelled at him and was like, she'll cry when she's ready to cry. And I remember crying, but not even because my grandma died. Yes, I did. I cried because I realized I was never going to hear her voice again. But what also really kind of started it was situationship. I had asked them to come with me because, like, you're my person. My grandma just died. Come with me. They didn't come, obviously. And I remember I almost texted my now husband because I knew him back in high school and was like, maybe I'll see if he can come with me. And I feel like he probably would have. I've never actually asked him this, and now I'm curious, so I'm going to ask him. And he'll be like, it's in the past. What does it matter? I'm like, it matters to my inner 16-year-old self, and you dated her once, so you answer. But yeah, like I got close to my grandpa because I wanted to like get to know him better, and that was such a blessing.
I'm so glad. Yeah. It's my grandma on my mom's side, she always used to say her and I had a really good relationship because she would come over like every Sunday. We had like this special bond. She would always say like I'm always on your side, and I feel like as she watches over me now, because she passed in 2016, as she watches over me now, it's like I do feel that presence of like she is always on my side even now. Like she's guiding me through life.
Yeah.
Her I more so connect with her daughter, my aunt, my mom's sister, who had also passed away. That was in 2009 that she passed. And that was my first real loss of grief that I went through as like as a human. And that was, so I feel like also once I make it to 40, that's going to be like a crazy wake up call because I'm going to be like,
Yeah,
wow, I
absolutely.
outlived my aunt who passed away. Like that's crazy. So she, I feel like, is more of a spirit guide to me, versus like my grandma. Um, but my dad's mom, who's still alive, like she is like a different like matriarch, like in my life story, So
Yeah,
like it's just an interesting thing. But I know where I get the anxiety from because like
I get it from my dad, even though he won't admit it.
my parents definitely have it. My both sides of the family like had it, and like it is what it is, there's ways for us to manage it and it's okay. I'm so grateful that like there are tools and techniques that we've learned, in our life that, I know we can acknowledge that, depressive moods and depressive moments, depression itself like is temporary and that we can heal from it and, acknowledge that life just ebbs and flows and like once we're in the ebb, then we'll get back to the flow and it'll be all good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like my grandma is a spirit guide, but I feel like the leader of my spirit guides is my grandpa.
Oh yeah.
For
Based
sure.
on what we've shared, for sure.
My grandpa is my spirit guide, leader, whatever you want to call it. And then I have my best friend's mom. I have my husband's dad, who I didn't even know like a year. I met him in March because he was on the phone with my husband and he was like, there's something different about you. And I goes, well, I met someone or we met someone. And he was like gushing about me. And his dad was like, I want to meet her. I want to meet this girl. So he literally came down and we did a trip, the three of us, down to where he used to live before he moved up to Orlando, my husband. And I have so many memories of this man, and I only spent like so much time with him. Like one of my favorite memories is when we were me and my husband like to go like kayaking. So his dad was kayaking, we were on paddle boards. It was our first time doing like a paddle board where you stand up.
I love those. Yeah.
Well, it's so much fun. I've only done it like once or twice, but the first time I did it, I only completely fell off once. The rest of the time I almost fell off. And I remember when I almost fell off the second time. I didn't. My my father-in-law says to my husband, because he starts laughing and he falls off his board. I remember his dad saying, "Karma's a bitch, son."
Oh no.
Oh my goodness. It was like every time I see a Yoo-hoo, I think of him. Because he would buy me Yoo-hoos. Like this is like before me and my husband moved in together, and my husband's best friend would be like, Michelle, what is up with all the Yoo-hoos in the fridge? And I'm like, it's not me. It's my drink. I'm taking it home with me when I go tomorrow. But he bought them for me, and I would point to his dad. But yeah, it's just kind of interesting because like I have a really good relationship. Not really good, but like a complicated relationship with my dad, and it's as good as it can be. But like there's shows that I watch where I'm like, how is this person a better father? My father. Like I watched this show called Has Been Hotel, and there's a character on it. Literally, it's Lucifer. Okay, and he had a moment with his daughter on the show in the season 2 premiere, and I was just like, that was really sweet. That's Lucifer. Are you kidding me right now?
Oh no. Aw.
Yeah.
Dang. Wow.
Like, not that, like, actual Lucifer would be that way. Who
No.
knows? Who knows? Like, to each their own what you believe in. But, like, I mean, I believe in, I don't know, a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I watch Supernatural. So, like, if you go around and you hear someone say, oh my God, I love Lucifer, it's because in Supernatural, he's a very beloved character.
Yeah.
We don't like God in Supernatural.
Well,
So yeah, but I feel like we could probably go on and on about this. We could probably like keep going and discussing this because it's you and me. Let's be real here. Like we almost dived into it, and I was like, Leanna, we should probably hit play.
Yeah.
That's how this episode came to be.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
But thank you so much for listening, and share it with a friend that you feel needs it. And just remember that we have all been there.
Yes.
And we're just going to keep going and keep showing up just like we do each week here in All Things Mental for all of you and for us.
For sure. Thank you so much, Michelle, for this heartfelt conversation and just to bring light and awareness to depression in a whole new way and just how we cope with it and how we continue to just grow and change and shift through it, all the ups and downs of grief and, every bit of our conversation that we've had tonight is really special. So I appreciate you and I'm so glad you're still here.
I'm glad you're still here. That's what I did for my bite of gratitude in my group chat. I was like, I did a voice note, which I don't usually do for my bite of gratitude. I usually type it out, but I was like, hey, here's my bite of gratitude, full transparency. I'm depressed. And looking back on my life this morning, I'm just so grateful that I'm still here. And I'm grateful for my mindset.
Good.
So, yeah.
Good. I feel the same way.
Absolutely. Well, until next time.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of All Things Mental.
Please follow us on social media at All Things Mental Podcast to let us know how this episode helped you on your healing journey.
Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts so that you don't miss an episode.
And remember,
you are not broken.
You're just becoming a more beautiful version
of your higher self.